He's like, what you gonna do? And he pulls out a knife. And I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? And I pull out a sword. I had a girlfriend at the time. I talked her into start tricking. I got her hooked up on this website, and she started tricking. Like, I would do all the texting. I would basically act like her and finesse the guy. Half the time, they would just send money, like PayPal or something. But there was times she would have to go and hang out with them, and she didn't like it. But I would talk her into it. I would manipulate her and tell her, you're doing this for us and all that jazz, because we're living in hotels. And she lost her babies because of me, because of the addiction. She wasn't nearly as bad as she was before she met me, and she's dead now.
It's like Craigslist.
It's like Craigslist. Yeah, it literally was Craigslist for. Every time you would pay your little whatever it was, $10 fee or whatever, you would go back to the top of the list. And that's what, so that girl was doing that, and she had a trick, a John caller or whatever, and she needed a ride. And me and her was broke at the time. I had an 89 Grand Marquise, and the ignition was peeled because I lost all my keys to it. And I drove the girl from, we was on the hilltop. I drove her up to the Days Inn Motel. I had her and her boyfriend in the back seat, and then I had my girlfriend in the front seat. And the girl in the back seat goes up there, and we're all three in the car. And I don't know, like 20 minutes goes by. She comes running to the balcony like, hey, get up here, get up here. She's like, the guy chalked me. We're going to keep his room. Now come up here. And I'm thinking that it was just a whole scam. She just needed a ride up there. There was never no trick. And she was going to give me $40 out of this. And I needed my $40. So I'm like, we're not staying. I'm about to pull out the parking lot. And the guy walks by on the balcony because it's like all outside doors and everything. Yep. And she jumps out the car. I'm all twacked out of my mind. I'm doing meth now at this time. And anything. I was doing anything. I'm like, hey, let's go jump this dude. I had a machete in the car. And I get out the car. I had this big jacket on. The machete's underneath of it. So by the time I got to the stairs, the guy's at the bottom of the stairs. And I'm like, what's up, bro? You gonna pay her money? He's like, what you gonna do? And he pulls out a knife. And I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? And I pull out a sword, right? I pull out this machete. And the guy's coming at me. And I'm like flinching at him. But he's not backing up. He's not giving up. And I'm about to chop him. And I know I would have killed him. And I come down with it. And something made me let go. And it ding ting hits the ground. And the guy stabbed me in my neck. I got a big old scar on my neck right here where he stabbed me in my neck, stabbed me in my face, stabbed me in my temple. And I take off running back to the car, and we lock ourselves in the car. He's outside the car.
You're bleeding.
I'm bleeding. They're keeping pressure on it. They can't get the ignition started because it was peeled. So I end up getting in the driver's seat, starting the car, and trying to hit the guy with the car, chase him around the parking lot. Anyways, drive myself to the hospital. And I go into the hospital. I'm like, I'm stabbed. I'm pacing. I'm high. My adrenaline's pumping. And they're like, stop moving, because I'm walking back and forth. And I look down, and I just got there's blood everywhere. They put me in the trauma unit. And they stitch me up. Detectives come talk to me. I tell them I don't know nothing. Well, the guy shows up at the hospital too, at Grant. So after it's all said and done, I get released out of ICU. Cops are going through the car still. We're in the cul-de-sac smoking a cigarette, and they cut me out of my clothes. I'm all cut out of my clothes, so they gave me these shorts that were like these Daisy Duke Hanes shorts. I'm just looking crazy out there, dude.
You've just been stabbed 3 times in the
neck's
head.
like this. I got this big pack. Yeah, because they weren't going to let me stay because I was so high. And it just barely missed my artery right here.
Yeah,
Like, I'm lucky
dude.
to be alive.
Yeah.